T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Global Watchman News.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News, exposing satanic world government. I hope you guys are all doing well. My name is Lori Alexander Swan, and just to let you guys know, we are broadcasting on Exposing Satanic World Government Facebook, Global Watchman News primary channel on YouTube, and Twitch. So if you're on these three platforms, welcome. You're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, hit that like, hit that share, so we can start building these secondary platforms. We're trying to get off of YouTube completely and totally. So we have 177 people in the chats, in all three chats right now. So I just want to take an opportunity to welcome you guys. I am alone today, so I will not be watching chat, but we will have moderators in to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platforms that we are using today. As you guys can see, the title of today's broadcast is called "The Banned Lines of Radicalization on Social Media." I'm pretty sure everybody yesterday, when they woke up, if you are on Facebook, I know some of you are not on Facebook, so this is going to come as a surprise to you guys, but a lot of you people on Facebook woke up to yesterday morning and when you logged onto Facebook, you were met with this. This was something that popped up on your screen, whether it was on your phone, whether it was on your PC, whatever it was, your iPad. And it said, are you concerned that someone you know is becoming an extremist? We care about preventing extremism on Facebook. Others in your situation have received confidential support. Yeah. Confidential support. Basically, they're saying, if you feel that somebody on social media is an extremist, extremist is a word that can be misconstrued, abused, twisted to fit whoever's narrative. If I am one of these thin-skinned soy boys that gets offended by everything, and I go onto social media and I whine and I cry because somebody might have had a difference of opinion than me, well, you may label that person who had that difference of opinion with you an extremist. Does that make them an extremist? No. That just makes them having a different opinion from yours, which last I knew, we were allowed to have. But are we allowed? I mean, these social media platforms are pretty much, social engineering us into like herding us. Think of an animal, think of a dog herding sheep. They're herding us into this thin path, into the ideals and feelings that they deem appropriate. A lot of you, if you're like me, who I identify as a ultra conservative in my political and religious views, then you are at risk of being labeled an extremist by the other side. I don't support abortion. I don't support same-sex marriage. I don't support abominations. I know that there are and always will be two sexes, male and female. You may think in your head that you are something else, but I can assure you, according to the biblical guidelines, you are either a man or a woman. Now, are you born with, again, these blurred lines of male, female? Absolutely. Absolutely. But in reality, you are one or the other. So you woke up yesterday and you discovered this. Well, this is saying, that you are concerned. But there was also another one that a few people got, and this was sent to me, and I blurred out his name because he is one of our followers. But it says his name, and I'm going to put my name in there. Lori, you may have been exposed to harmful extremist content recently. Violent groups try to manipulate your anger and disappointment. You can take action now to protect yourself and others. Violent groups. Well, that line is becoming very blurred as well. There used to be a time you could talk about, I can't even really say it. That's how blurred these lines. That's how this has gotten. Think back World War II. Think Germany. Those people. You were allowed to talk about them. You were allowed to say things about them. Now you're not, because if you are, you're an extremist. If you are proud of being a certain sexual I'm trying to think about wording this. If you're proud of being a sexual, whether you're male-female relationship, okay, then you could be labeled as an extremist. If you are a Christian and you follow biblical beliefs, you can be labeled an extremist. What does this say about our country? it says that the left, or the liberals, and I use that term because, I mean, we know that term has been changed over the years, but the liberal, the democratic idealization, or the idealistic thought process in that camp, they want to accept everything. They want to accept every abomination known to man, every abomination that is biblically orthodox and forbidden. But they allow that. And if we go against the grain and we say that, we're not subscribing to this nonsense, then we are at risk of being labeled an extremist. So here's what I did. So I did make a video, but I figured that I would do it live for you guys. So here we go. This is what I got, and I pushed support. Okay. And this took me to, here we go. I'm going to make this big on the screen. This took me to this Facebook Help Center. It says, what can I do to prevent radicalization? Violent and hate groups are dangerous for both members of the group and the people they target. People join these groups for many reasons, but people who are lonely, isolated, or excluded may be more likely to feel connected to these groups' messages. Once someone joins a group, they might finally feel like they have a place to belong. It might also feel good to blame their problems on someone else, or feel like they are part of a cause. People may get pulled into violence and hate with false promises of status, power, and protection. The attraction can be even greater for anyone struggling with their personal and professional lives. Signs that someone is at risk. It can be hard to know for sure if someone is part of these groups if they don't openly talk about it. However, they may do some of the things below if they have joined an extremist group. The more signs that are present, the more confident that you can be of their risk. They may do the following. They may say discriminatory things. They may show unusual amounts of anger or aggression. They may discuss or obsess over violent or conspiracy theories. They may spend unhealthy amounts of time online. They may get tattoos of extremist symbols, or they may share memes or videos with extremist symbols. Keep in mind that these behaviors don't always mean someone is part of a hate or violent group. Your friend could just be struggling with something else like depression, suicidal thoughts, or stress. What to do next? It can be upsetting or confusing if you think someone you know is involved in an extremist group. You might not know how to bring it up to them or what to do, but helping them is the kindest thing you can do. Snitching on them is the kindest thing you can do. Former extremists often explain that violence and hate ruined their lives and broke apart their families. They also saw that violence didn't change the things that the radical group was mad about. Extremist groups are harmful to the people in the group. Group leaders may lie or brainwash their followers with false information. The leaders may also take advantage of group members by having the members do violent or illegal things. Group members may also face harsh consequences for their actions within the group. They may go to jail, they may lose their jobs, hurt their family and friends, or lose their good reputations. The good news is that there is hope if someone you know wants to leave an extremist group. You can start by having an open talk with them about what's going on in their life. Use the following tips when having a conversation about this with your loved one. Think about the things extremism is giving them. For example, community or belonging, and think of healthier ways your friend can get these needs met. Think about how best to express your love and support. Focus on a two-way. Focus on a two-way conversation and shared understanding. Listen with an open mind and stay calm. Avoid arguing if possible. Don't reduce your friend's identity to their involvement in hate. And don't label them a radical. This I find amusing. Don't label them a radical, extremist, or a racist. Okay. So they're saying don't label a person an extremist or a racist or a extremist or a radical or, a combination of any of those. Don't label them that, but label them that enough to confront them. Really? Okay. We have worked with experts at Life After Hate. Now, if you don't know who Life After Hate is, Life After Hate is actually an extremist group. Oh, yeah. That's just one. And it goes on and talks about it. But I want to go up here real quick. I pushed on this extremist symbols. And it takes us to CARE, the Center for Analysis of the Radical Right, which, by the way, is a radical group. So technically, we've got a radical group. We've got a radical group or organization judging what is radical. This CARE report details principal symbols, slang, code references, and terminology used online by radical right extremists today. First part of this survey will focus on key images ranging from Celtic cross to ancient Germanic runes, with the emphasis on frequency of use and changes over time, such as the recent way in which Pepe the Frog has operated as shorthand for various radical right themes. Now, if you guys remember, we went into who Pepe the Frog is. Pepe the Frog is an ancient Egyptian chaos god. And go ahead and do that research for yourself and look to see who the god of chaos is. Now, Pepe the Frog was first introduced back in 2016 with the Trump campaign, presidential campaign, and I did an in-depth research into it and found that they were using chaos magic and they were using meme magic. The memes that were coming out had an impact on the presidential election, and this is all available online. You can take a trip down that rabbit hole for yourself. But, look online, research Pepe the Frog, and look into, let me see if I can pull it up here. Pepe the Frog. Let me show you who he is. And let me do this first. Pepe the Frog. Let me pull this one up for us. Let me do this. Save image. Pepe the Frog is Kek magic, K-E-K. I'm going to pull both of these up for us. Let me just download them onto the program real quick. And, oops, it wouldn't let me do that one. Okay, that's fine. It won't let me do that one. We'll just pull this one up. And here it is. Okay. Pull this one up real quick, and then we'll go to Google and we'll look at the other one. So this is the ancient statue of Kek and the prophecy of Kek. And if you can see, this was a statue that was found in ancient Egypt, or was found in Egypt. It's an ancient statue. And if you look on the front of it, it looks like a person who's looking into a computer screen. And then there's a DNA helix next to it. But so if you look on the prophecy of Kek, the K-E-K God, you'll find out this is the god of chaos. All right, let me get out of this one. Let me pull up. It won't let me download this one, but I can share it with you guys. Here we go. This right here, you can see this is the Kek. And now it says the Kek is the deification of the primordial concept of darkness in ancient Egyptian religion. He embodies the time right before the dawn, making him the bringer of light. Who do we know is the bringer of light? Well, that would be Lucifer. Kek is portrayed as a man with a frog head. In hieroglyphics, Kek is portrayed as a man seemingly sitting at a computer screen. Pairs of numbers are also important in the Ogdad mythology. Repeating, okay, it goes into the numbers. But you can see that this is what we're talking about. This is what they're deeming as the radicalization by the right. Now, I can tell you for a fact that the people that started this whole thing, okay, they were not conservatives. They were not Republicans. They were not on the side of anything. They had their own agenda that they needed to put forward. And it has nothing to do with those of us that identify with being conservative or being Republican or being Christian. It has nothing to do with us. It is completely something that was introduced by those that had their own agenda to put forth at that time. Okay, so let's go back to our article. Okay, so they said that Pepe the Frog has operated as shorthand for various radical right themes. The second part turns into written code, including numerical codes, and I just started reading about that, about the numbers. So what they're saying is that essentially those of us that look at the numerology of things, we look at the gematria of things, we look at the coding by the satanic agenda, looking at us, we would definitely be labeled as extremists. Interesting. Let me go back to this part here. So that is no, that wasn't helpful. I don't like the post. All right, you know what? We're going to put this in there. Let's do this because I did this yesterday. Facebook in itself is, oops. Remember, I'm typing on a keyboard that has very few letters on it. Facebook in itself is a radical left organization that relies on uneducated to determine what is okay. Facebook as itself is a radical left organization that relies on uneducated fact checkers to determine what is radical or not. We're just going to send that. I went into it a little bit more yesterday, but they got my one from yesterday too. So, let's see. So, Research Life After Hate organization that, like I said, that in itself is a radical organization. Okay, now their program, Exit USA, is a confidential intervention and aftercare services program that offers a way out of hate and violence. Basically, Robbie and I, the other night, we talked about how India was implementing the snitch program, where you would get money for snitching out your neighbor regarding their roll up your sleeve status and about things like that. But essentially, that's exactly what they're now implementing here on social media, on Facebook. What they're saying is that if you suspect your neighbor or your friend or your whatever, your group that you're in of radicalization, then you can anonymously report them, confidential, they will get confidential intervention. And like I said, guys, this is very dangerous for us. I mean, we are being stifled. We are not being allowed to have our views. We are not being allowed to have our belief systems. We're not allowed to have anything that goes against the grain, anything that goes against this agenda. anything that goes against, the people who are in charge at the moment. Like again, I would say that of all of you watching, let me see how many are in here right now. 187 people. 187 people of you watching, I would say that probably 99% of you would be classified as being radical just for being in here. The other 1% is probably here just trolling and just nosy. But I would say the 99% of you would be considered radical. I would be considered radical. Robbie would be considered radical. My husband would be considered radical. Why? Because we're conservative Christians, because we have biblical values and we uphold those values. So here's the reason why I actually came on is that, you know what? We need to decide as a Christian group, I would say, and if you don't identify as Christian, I don't identify as Christian either. I'm biblical, I believe, but that whole Christian title it rubs me the wrong way. But you guys get what I'm saying. We need to decide whether we're going to continue to allow these left-wing nuts to dictate to us what we believe. We need to understand that we are being socially manipulated into a different mindset. Look at all the times that we get suspended here on Facebook or on YouTube. Look at the times that they come back and they say, your comment or your post went against community standards. Well, whose standards are they? Okay. I have my opinion. Again, could be construed as radical by people who don't like us, but it doesn't mean that I am. Okay. Everything I post with biblical Bible references to back it up, or I post things with sources. Who's to say, because it hurts your feelings, that I'm wrong? So we need to decide as a people whether we want to continue down this path using these social media platforms. What they do is they punish us. They punish you by giving you just suspensions. Now, I'm suspended on all 3 of my accounts. I cannot post on the pages. I can't post on my personal page. So if you're following me, that's why. I can respond to private messages. So if you need to get a hold of me, you can private message me on any 3 of the accounts or on the page. But I can't post. Robbie can post. Everybody else that it has the posting abilities can, but I can't. We are still suspended on our Global Watchman 2 news channel over on YouTube. Why? Because we've been deemed going against community guidelines. Did we? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But they're going to punish you, and they feel that if they punish you enough, well, you'll change your views. You'll adapt to their way of posting. No, not me, not my husband, not Robbie. If I lose my Facebook accounts, I lose my Facebook accounts. I don't care. But I will not bow down to anything other than my beliefs, my religious affiliations. Like I said, I identify myself as a ultra-conservative. I don't believe in abortion. I don't believe in same-sex marriages. I believe male-female. I don't believe in any of that nonsense at all. And I will not conform to the left. I refuse to do it. And I knew probably majority of you feel the same way as I do. So if you get that what am I say, that image up on your screen, let me put it back up for you. If you get this, go to the support, read it. And at the very bottom, it allows you to have a say. Now, who reads it? Probably nobody. But you know what? At least you're doing something. At least put something in there and tell them exactly what you feel about them, and what they're doing. Now, a while ago, a couple of years ago or a year or so ago, I did a huge live stream talking about social media and about First Amendment rights on the social media platforms. We don't have it, guys. When you log into social media every single time, you adhere or you agree to their terms of service. Their terms of service suck. Okay? Bottom line. Okay. You agree to those terms of service. Now, they are private platforms and they can dictate what is allowed on their platforms. And that's exactly what we're seeing. But they're trying to, like I said, social engineer us, I don't know. They're trying to change our way of thinking, or trying to change our views. Because a lot of people are like, well, you know, if I want to continue on Facebook, I guess I've got to adhere to. No, you don't. No, you don't. Social media is not that important in our lives. Okay, you got a phone, you got text messages. You don't need social media to reach out to the people that you are friends with. I think we're going to start an email. I don't know. We're looking at something we're going to do to try to keep in touch with everybody. We're going to build a website. I do know that. We're going to build a website, and then you'll be able to come to the website to get the news and the posts that we put up on our pages, on our personal pages, and on our Exposing Satanic World Government and Exposing the Darkness group. Because I don't want to have to bend over and smile anymore at these people. I really don't. Robbie doesn't either. So, and I know you guys don't either. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. Robbie's going to be on vacation. I'm going to be out of town tomorrow, but I'll be back on Sunday. I will be doing a live stream on Sunday. What we're going to talk about is Ingersoll. What is it? Ingersoll Lockwood. It's a website that's got some strange things going on. So we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about that on Sunday. So until next time, guys, God bless you all. Eyes open, no fear.